Find one piece of glass around here.
Try it.
That's plastic. Oops, sorry.
Uh,
I'm sorry.
It's cost a lot of money, Santos.
How would my elbow break that?
Just because it's expensive doesn't mean it's not indestructible.
yeah, man.
You can still buy a Lamborghini and crash it.
Dingus.
All right, you guys all ready? Hey, how is everyone? How is testing, boys and girl?
Annoying.
Horrible.
Why? What was bad about it? What happened?
I just didn't want to do it.
We can't hear you if you don't talk into the mic.
I just didn't want to test.
So did you try? Did you guys all try your hardest? It's your last year here.
Yes, I did.
Okay.
What about you, Gio? I don't think the audience can hear you shaking your head.
Yes, I mean, I tried, but like I tried, but I kept falling asleep.
But
You're
you
not
did
supposed to sleep
finish.
during tests.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Rita?
It was easy for me,
Both tests or all three?
all three.
Good. So you feel like you guys don't have results yet until the summer, right?
Yeah.
Show off.
But I saw your scores for the
This
benchmark.
last quarter.
benchmark. So those were good. You guys were second place in the district behind not Geo, this Geo, the online school, which is, you can count that or not, but I would consider you guys number
Mr.
one.
Joel said we don't really count it.
Yeah, so you kind of got number one,
Yeah.
which is kind of cool. Very cool. All right, guys, you ready to start?
Yeah.
All right, let's start.
When I talk about it, carries on, reasons only new. When I talk about
Welcome back, listeners. This is Season 2, Episode 9 of the Sting Podcast. Today, we will be interviewing our music teacher, Mr. G. Welcome back to the show.
Yes, welcome back.
Great to be here. I like how this sounds in my ears.
Yeah, it does sound great. And yet, this is his second time. Now, we've had, I think Mr. Clark's done this. He's kind of a return performer. So you are another return guest. Last time we focused mainly on kind of your road to get to teach, right? We
Yeah.
talked about that, your prior jobs. We talked a little bit about, your
We can skip that part.
Yeah, we can skip the dad part. So hopefully that's getting resolved. But we're going to change our focus this time, and it's going to be on three areas: life, love, and of course, his favorite and your
Death.
favorite.
Robots.
Not death. Not robots or death, but music. But we're probably going to end up talking mostly about music because that's what you're all about. So we got three people here. Unfortunately, Anais is in Washington State. So she was going to remote in and we were going to try this, but I don't know if it's going to work, but we were going to try to Bluetooth her in in an odd, strange way, but I don't think it's...
She's going to be like a ghost.
Is that gonna work?
So we'll probably take her... Yeah, I think it would work. I think it would work.
She's like far away.
I know.
She's going to be like in like
It's
the
going to
ghost
be on the
box.
it's going to be on the phone. So, and we're going to try another new thing, which I'm a little worried about. But I think we tested it out. Frankie and I tested it out, and we're going to plug in his guitar. He's going to play some licks for us today. I hope you guys are ready for this experience.
Oh, yes.
Yes, I am ready as well.
Don't let your ears fall off, Gio.
If
Yeah.
you're expecting to get like shred, you're mistaking.
No, you're going to be easy on our ears, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Some of the stuff you're working on, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or instead, he's going to lie to us, turn the volume all the way up, and be like, okay, everyone, listen. And then just...
Wait, Mr. G, you should play that one solo that you were working on.
Maybe he does. Maybe he doesn't. It's going to be a surprise. It's going to be a big surprise. All right, let's start. Let's get going. This guy's very busy. We're going to start with life. And I think I want to start with Mr. Santos here because he's got a good life question to kind of start us off in this genre.
My first question is that was there ever like a moment in life that you can recall that you kind of had like this connection through like anything that you like made you think that you wanted to start making music?
Yeah, that's a good one. I think when I was younger, it was always like a thing in the background, and I don't know. My parents were always playing music, always. It was like old like gangster rap type stuff, and if it wasn't that, then my cousins were listening to a lot of like metal. But I had like a storage compartment for like melodies, of songs I didn't know, but I remember certain parts of like each song from when I was like 4 or 5 and stuff like that. And that was like always in my head. And I don't know. I think it was just more like mesmerizing than anything, because it's just sounds, but it's you just grab them and put them in a specific order, and there you go. It's like physics and science and stuff. But I think it more clicked when I was like 12, something like that.
6th grade.
Yeah. So yeah, 6th grade, 7th grade, or something like that. We finally got a guitar teacher at Coyote Ridge, and I was like super excited, and some of my friends knew how to do it, and they would like show me some stuff, but it was never anything like that I ever wanted to play or had a connection with, until I heard my friend. He was like walking around with an acoustic guitar, and he started playing this like groovy but like really fast riff, and that was it. Like I just zoned in on it, and I was just like looking at his hands, and I'm like, how do you do that? I was like, I don't want to keep playing Blink-182. I want to play this.
Sorry, Ryan. Sorry.
Yeah, my bad, buddy. Not that they're bad or anything, but it just wasn't what I wanted to play. And I think the more I just kept doing it, the more I found out that it was just like relaxing to do no matter what it was. And I kind of just like kept doing it, not like religiously or anything. It was more kind of like a hobby. But still, the older I got, the more I was like, why am I not doing this way more if it feels so good? And then I just like more so started dedicating like time to practice and stuff like that. Like I'll see people play and I'm like, I want to do that, like, but my own version of it, I guess. And now that's like just the goal that I've been working on for like the past year and a half or something, just like fully locked into this.
It's a long-winded answer, but
Yeah.
I forgot his question, to be honest, but it's a good answer. Very complete. Well, I'm going to steer us back to life because, I mean, technically this is supposed to be our life portion of this. So I'm going to steer you back. And, of course, you can talk about music if you want to. That's fine. When are you most at peace? And what are you doing besides the obvious, throwing yourself into your music kind of thing? So, like, when do you feel like, I guess, content in life?
I found out that it's just really simple. So if this was like a bad day or something like that, when I get home, I like to sit outside and you just like listen to the wind and the birds and stuff like that.
Decompress or whatever.
Yeah, and it's like I'm not even sitting out there for like a reason, just other than like to exist. And it's something about it, like listening to the birds and stuff or like sometimes I'll just like sit in the grass. I'll just like lie down or something. But it just feels so good, like, I don't know, because you're like connected to the earth, and it's like, oh, this is it. Like, this is all you need right now.
Do you meditate?
Yeah.
That's hard to do.
Every day.
Do you really
Every
really
day.
actually do it and you
Yeah.
follow the whole procedures?
Every day.
Isn't that hard to do?
At first, yeah, but now it's more like second nature. So even if it's just like 5 minutes, I'll just focus on breathing.
Right.
And nothing else. If there's like another thought that pops up, I kind of not so much ignore it, but just let it go by. Like I don't really grab onto it and start dwelling on it or whatever. But I've been doing it for like about a year straight, like almost every day.
That's good.
And I always try to make time for it, whether it's like first thing in the morning or like as soon as I get home or right before I go to bed or something. But I feel like if I don't do it, I kind of start getting like in my own way or like in my head. And that's, I guess, like for me, I think about it like that's not good for me. So I need that time to like just exist.
No, I get it. I wish more people did that. I try to do it when I was going through the sleeping bouts when I wasn't sleeping. I was trying to meditate, but it's really hard to do.
Last year? Was that last year?
It was last year. No, it was last year. And it was really hard to do. I mean, I had a bunch of different apps to try to wind me down, follow the breaths, kind of keep the clutter out, and it's just hard to clear your mind of thoughts. That's the hardest part for me. I couldn't do it.
Yeah, the key is to like I've gotten some of the 8th graders to try it, and they say the same thing. How do you do it? Like, how do you not think? And they're like, it's hard for them to like, I think they have to think they have to focus, but you literally don't have to focus. You just have to like just be aware. Like if you hear a sound, don't put a story to that sound. Just notice, oh, that was a sound. Or like if you hear a bird, you can kind of like understand like, oh, this bird is just chirping, or you can tell if a bird is like calling another bird or if they're fighting and stuff like that.
So that kind of
you kind of just notice it.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, just get rid of like the background for it. It's just like being a baby. Like babies don't really think, like when they're just like chilling there, they kind of just exist and look around.
Yeah.
That's literally like all you have to do.
All right.
And not beat yourself
but
up
you gotta
if you can't do
you
it.
do have to practice at it. It's not like it doesn't come easy to you. Maybe it came easy to you, but it definitely doesn't come to most people.
Yeah,
I think.
no, it's like a muscle. Like if you want to try it, it's a concentration muscle. Like
Yeah.
more so now, a lot of people are so used to getting things right away or like not being patient, TikTok and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So everyone's awareness or like their what do you call it?
Attention span
is so short.
It's so short.
That people cannot just sit down for 5 minutes and just be bored.
That's my daughter, unfortunately. Yeah, it's true, and it's a generational thing, and it's because this is what they grew up with.
Yeah,
like unfortunately, I mean, yeah, there's we've talked about positives, but there's so many more negatives.
Yeah,
unfortunately,
for sure. And there's some like I've noticed other kids. I'll try to talk to them, and I realize like, oh, some of you guys are like angry, or like someone was mentioning me that they get angry, but when they get angry they stay angry the whole day.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're like 13 years old, what's going on?
Yeah, like come on, man.
So I'll like just talk to them. I'm like, you should go sit down in the grass for a little bit or something like
without
that.
your phone.
Yeah,
right?
Just like listen to what's happening around you.
All right, thanks, good answer.
Baby, love's what you make it.
Were you a very social person when you were in high school years, or more quiet?
That's a good question too. I was more quiet on the quiet side, just because the way I grew up and stuff like that. I had a fear of adults, like growing up, even in high school. Like I never really made friends with like teachers. I guess there was one, and I like it's cool that I can still like talk to her now, but she was my English teacher, and she was like one of the only teachers I had who like treated me like if I was a person, and would like, how's your day, and blah blah blah, stuff like that. It wasn't just like somebody talking at me. It was like somebody genuinely interested in the things I had to say.
Yeah.
So I ended up becoming her like assistant, her like, what is it, TA assistants and stuff like that. Or if I had like free period, she would like, you want to come in here? I'm like, oh, for sure. And
that was high school, right?
Yeah. But like amongst people, I guess I was more of like an observer. Just because a lot of the people I went to school with, I wasn't a fan of. There was a couple people that were like really cool, but it was a lot of people trying to be cool, and you can spot that from like a mile away.
You can spot it in middle school,
Yeah.
and before middle school. We talk about it all the time. We're like, God, that's not who that person really is. I've known that person since kinder. They're trying to be someone they're not. It frustrates me. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but I kind of just observed, just because I don't know. I had a lot of insecurities and stuff about just talking, just the way like I was already dealing with things before with like my family and stuff like that. So yeah, I guess I was pretty quiet. But once I got to know people, I was in, like I could play around and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You were like a very very self-centered guy. What?
No,
you say?
I wasn't self-centered.
No,
not self-centered, but
Not
like
self-centered.
more
Introverted.
Yeah.
Didn't you say that?
Yeah.
It's more of an introvert, but you're also like me. When I was young, I kind of I did a lot of listening. I didn't do a lot of talking until I was like junior or senior year. So I was kind of quiet like you, so I could relate to that. But I felt like I learned so much more by watching like personalities and listening to what people are saying and how they're saying it. It really actually helped me when I came out of my proverbial shell. I was like, I was ready to go. Let's go. I know all the tricks,
But yeah, it's pretty interesting. Just that I found out that I was like very picky with who I like talk to.
Everybody should be.
And it was some people thought like I was like a jerk, like, oh, he just doesn't want to talk to anybody. I'm like, no, because I've seen you before and you acted all weird and I don't want to be a part of that. And like occasionally I'll just like go out and just like, okay, let's do this. But then I figure like it's not always like a positive interaction when I don't try to like, if I just jump in there like that, it doesn't ever really work out.
I can never really do that. I'm always more talkative, more open. Like if there's a person I can meet and talk to, I will walk up to them and start talking.
Yeah.
It's always been like a thing I've done.
It got easier as I got older, just because I realized like, oh, everyone's just people. But I'm still like a little bit kind of picky of what I like say and do. And like a lot of times it's like I'll say something and I'm like, I should not have done this at all. It just ended up being like a bad decision. And I go home and beat myself up about it. But it's like, all right, don't do this again. And then, but yeah.
No, I think it's a good way to be. I always tell the kids, you know, like I choose to talk and converse with pretty much anyone, but the people who I want to spend time with outside of that, that's a small group, you know, and that I feel like that kind of makes those friendships and those bonds way, way better and way stronger. So, you know, I tell you, you know, Santos, just be the way you are, but just know your circle of friends probably as you get older, you kind of want to be picky. I agree with that because, you know, you want to have the same interests. You want to surround yourself with positive people and people that like to laugh because you're happy. So not to say you shouldn't talk to anyone and shut them out, you know, but we're just saying maybe it's a better way to be that way.
Nothing can change it. Love's what you make it.
So, do you have any interesting high school experiences that stay with you to this day?
High school experiences. Yeah, I mean everyone does, right? Like you want to like specific?
Yeah,
things?
we want something juicy, man.
Nothing really juicy. I was never like that. I mean, there was like, see, I don't know. Like, everything if I tell you anything, it probably won't be like exciting. It's just I just was there and did what I had to do. Like house parties probably, and like cops showing up and stuff like that, and having to run away because we weren't supposed to be partying.
Did you ever like play at the house parties, or were you just like an observer?
I did one. Me and my I had a couple friends, and we were super into Iron Maiden, and we would learn a bunch of their songs and stuff like that. And we did it one time with this girl I knew, and we had like makeshift everything. So I would like not makeshift everything. I guess our drummer had to just for that one time. But I was like rocking like $100 guitar and stuff like that. It's like scratching your hands as you're playing it and stuff like that. It's like not well made. But I did that, and it became this. It was like a rush, and always because I was like really introverted too, that it's like going up was like terrifying. But it's like, okay, there's a bunch of people that like I go to school with, and I don't really talk to any of them, and blah blah blah. But like, okay, let's see what we can do, and blah blah. And it, like people were into it, and I noticed that people were into it, and if they're into it, I'm like, okay, I'm more into it now. Like it's not scary anymore. It's just fun. There's like a rush to it, and from then on, it's like, oh, I need to chase this feeling.
All right, I think we're ready to convert and change over to love. What do you guys think? You guys ready? You guys ready to talk about love?
I have literally the perfect question for that
Ain't
too.
talking about love, am I right? Right.
So who's going first?
Well, let's, Gio, I think let's hit him first with your question. I think it's a good one to start with.
All right, Mr. G. When did you have your first relationship, and how was it?
I was freshman year of high school. Yeah, like around, it was like fall or something. It was cool because we were really great friends already, and it kind of just happened. And it didn't last that long, maybe a month, because we're in school. That's how these relationships work. But it was it was, I don't know, it was cool. It was also like my first kiss too, also, but it was more so like
Not until high school?
yeah, I'm telling you, like
Wow,
people I
what a
went
good
to
boy
school
you
with,
are.
You're
a good boy.
we're not like great. Everyone was super dramatic, but like going into high school, it was like, oh, all these new people. But yeah, it was great just because they were already like a really close friend at the time. So it kind of just, it's like there was no really like no work to put in.
Like a click, kind of.
Yeah, I
Like
guess
that.
so. It's like I didn't have to meet somebody new and then work up like, what do you like to do and blah blah blah. Like, no, me and this person had already known each other for a year or two.
The best relationships
this
you're gonna have
happened.
are when you have as a friend first.
Yeah,
Guaranteed, way easier.
and it's something you didn't see coming. Like I didn't see it coming.
Yeah.
It kind of just happened, and I don't know. I'm really grateful that it was that person. 'Cause I learned a lot more, and I don't know. It was just nice to have that, and like even when it ended, it was still nice that we were still really close. So there wasn't like really like no bitter feelings or
No
anything.
bitter,
like that.
yeah.
It kind of just ended, and it was like, all right, and we kind of avoided each other for like a bit, but then it kind of just like
You were a freshman, right? So
yeah, we had the
you
same
only
group
3 more years with
yeah, we had
Senior.
the same group of friends, so I was like, oh, okay. Like,
I saw this one thing, I forgot where, but it said, people, like, after they break up, if they still can remain close friends, they either never loved each other or still love each other.
Yeah.
is that a question?
No,
No,
Just a
it's more of
statement?
a
I'm just saying.
Okay.
It's a statement. It kind of
He
makes
found it on
sense.
YouTube Shorts as per everything.
Yeah, I didn't want to say that.
Oh my god, of course you did.
Don't believe everything you hear on the internet. But yeah, I could see that.
Did a relationship ever change you as a person? If yes, how?
Oh yeah, for surezies. I don't know. There's one. It I don't know. It was hard. It was hard on me. And not just me. Like everyone who's like any relationship. If you're involved in the relationship, it's going to hurt you. But yeah, I learned. I feel like that video of William Shatner when he like went to space with Bezos and he's trying to talk about how this like moment meant so much to him. And Jeff Bezos is squirting champagne. You want some? And just squirting it. William Shatner just kind of like walks away all sad. But yeah, I just learned. I don't know. I feel like before I was a different person, and now it's like, oh no, everything you do has consequences. Like no matter what it is, there's a consequence to it. And then I didn't like what I was like, how I was at the time, so I made it a point to like just be better, like in general, to everybody. And it's like it's hard, just like because you get mad, everyone gets mad. It's a normal emotion, but having to like sit there and understand why like decisions you made and stuff like that, and then just I don't know, I just wanted to be better, so I like dedicated all this time to like I don't want to hurt anybody like ever.
Well, that's good.
And that's I don't know, I realized that I had to take more time for myself, like be more selfish, like do things that I want to do, like it doesn't matter what it is. You could be like painting. Like I like photography and painting and like obviously music and stuff like that. But then I found out if I don't take the time to do any of those things, then I'm kind of just like abandoning myself. And like, I don't know. A person can't be like your whole world. Like you have to do things for yourself all the time and kind of just let things happen naturally all the time. But I don't know. I'm still making it a point, like even today, to just like think about what I do before I do it, I guess. Less just I don't know, think about your decisions more. And I feel better about it. I mean, like things have been working out great for me. Like I've been meeting like my idols and stuff like that and getting to hang out with them and talk to them about like getting advice from like famous musicians and stuff like that.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I know, and it like blows my mind. And like I remember I was third grade. We're watching a video of Marty Friedman, and then Evangeline was in there, little Evangeline, and I showed her a picture of me and him, and she looks at it, and she looks up at the screen, and she looks back down, and she's like, "Whoa, what the heck? That's him!" She's like, "How do you just know him?" I was like, I was fortunate enough to meet him, and blah blah blah. But I don't know. I think I'm doing everything right now that I'm getting all these opportunities to.
Well, my question is, based on what you've said, this kind of makes sense and it might be a good follow-up, but just like, would you say you have any experience, good or bad, where you grew emotionally as a result, in love? Like where you feel like you can move on, hey, I learned, I'm taking something away from this despite it being like either good or bad.
Yeah, I try to, like even now, before if something bad happened to me, my whole mindset was like the world is out to get me.
Yeah.
Type of thing. But then I just like...
I've seen that side of you, by the way.
But I don't know, I guess like learning about, like with anything, it doesn't have to be a relationship, it could be anything else, but you have to be aware of like what's happening and realizing like if something keeps happening bad to you and you think it's like everyone's out to get you, then you're the problem. And then I realized like, oh wait, I'm the one doing this to myself. And then you kind of just have to like get out of that like bubble and just realize like, I don't know, just take the time to notice that this world is like super vast and not every like problem is be all like end all or whatever. And just use everything as a teaching lesson, no matter what it is. Like even if you're not in school, you're still learning. It's like a baby. The babies know like, oh, I touched this one time and now my hand's on fire. I'm never gonna do that again.
My hand's on fire.
You know what I
Might
mean?
be an extreme.
Or the stove. Like you touch the stove,
yeah.
and then it's like, oh my god, it hurts. And then is that baby ever gonna touch the stove again? Probably not. But it's like that. You have to like, if you don't sit there and try to be aware of like what you're doing, you're gonna be stuck in the same place.
But it doesn't have to be traumatic.
No, it doesn't have to be traumatic. It can be something simple as like showing up late somewhere every day, and you have to change that one thing. Like, why are you showing up late every day? Maybe leave 5 minutes earlier, and then problem solved.
Yeah, easy. All right, I think we're gonna transition to your favorite topic now, which of course is music, and Rita's going to start off. Rita, I think you got a good one to start off, but we've got several and we want to hear you play, obviously, so we're going to work that in somehow.
There's no distortion, so if you're expecting any like heavy metal and stuff like that,
we're going to expect that for sure.
Joe expected that.
Yes.
He's over here like rolling
there's
his eyes
like no anything. There's just
I
an
know.
interface, no
we
plugins.
have a pretty good setup, but not great.
So,
ready to read it.
how
Sorry.
did the journey with music start, and why did you want to become a music teacher?
The journey, I kind of explained that earlier when Santos asked. It's just this mesmerizing thing to me, and like something I can. You guys can.
I sound like a frog in here. Is there a
Like
frog in the
Like
studio?
a gulp, like
Yeah.
a cartoon gulp.
Right?
You're like pulling on your neck collar. But yeah, it was just mesmerizing and like that. Like I can hear a melody and it will stay with me for like. There's this old like rap song, I forgot like who sings it or anything like that, but it was this like weird like whistling noise, and I don't know when I heard it, but it's always been in my head.
Rap?
Yeah, it was like this part of a rap from like the 90s, like early 90s or something. I don't know, but it was a specific part in the song. It has this melody. But it's like a whistling sound. And it stayed with me like forever. And one time I was like, we're at home and I was watching like an old video of like us as like kids and stuff like that. And that song was on there. And that it like flashbacked.
It was a rap.
Yeah, it was a rap, but it was like part of the song. It was like this melody. It was like it's like a, I don't know, in between the verses and stuff like that. And it just stayed with me, and I don't know why. And then I started realizing like, oh, there's a lot of like space in my head,
Yeah.
like full of melodies that I don't know where they came from, but they're in my head. Like I hear them all the time, and it I don't know. Like I said, the older I got, the more I realized how cool music is. It's like it's one of the only things in the world, besides like maybe like a sense of smell, like when you smell something and you just get taken back to where that smell was from when you were like a child or something. But music has like, I think, a better version of that, because it like it gives you like reactions. Like if you're listening to your favorite song, it can like make you cry, or there's like a certain part you hear of a song and it'll make you like shrug up your shoulders or something, like, oh, that is good. Or it makes you like, I don't know, feel a certain way inside. And there's not really anything else like in the world like that that's like already just part of the world, something natural in it that causes effects like that in people. And when I realized like listening to music that would happen to me a lot. And there's one thing I noticed, and it was goosebumps. There's not a lot of music gives me goosebumps.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
But when I hear like a certain thing with so much, like you can hear this, you can hear this person's, like feel this person's emotions in these notes, which is like a weird thing because it's just sound. It's like air, it's just something that's vibrating. We can't see it. But then it causes you, like a physical being, to have a reaction. And it can take you back to any moment of your life and give you this whole, I don't know, play-by-play of what you've experienced. And
100%.
I just think that was amazing. And I realized like even when I was taking acting a lot, my main reason was like I would see people in movies and I would get that same reaction from seeing them act. And my goal is I want to do that and make other people feel a way that I felt. So with music, I realized I got it more than just acting. It was on like a deeper level. And I like dedicated, like I said, I started dedicating everything to just doing it, because like we were talking about earlier, it's like you're alive. Be alive with like a purpose. I don't know, my mindset right now is I want to give back to life. Like I'm alive now, but I want to contribute something to the world that I enjoy. I wanted to because I have this like ability to understand it, and it didn't come naturally. Something I had to work at. There's some things I can do that I'm like, oh, this kind of just happens. Like I didn't practice this. It's just something that comes out. And I more realized like, oh, I need to do this, because there's a lot of, and I think everyone should do it with at least an art form. It doesn't have to be music, it can be anything, but there's so much that people have to say that they don't know how to say it. And the only way to say it is through like an art activity. So it's like, there's a lot of things I want to say, and I don't want to like sit here and like traumatize people and whatever, blah, blah, blah. So you could just make music out of it, and people can feel it on a different level than just hearing me trauma dump or something.
Yeah.
Sound good to me. This sound hard. Something funky people gon' dance to. Give the record a second and a chance to.
Oh, hold on. Before you get into the question, have you ever like listened to music and kind of seen like patterns? I mean, not like, you know, obviously like a beat drum, an actual beat, but like have you ever like imagined like colors, like, you know,
synesthesia?
Yeah, like that.
Oh no, man! I wish I had that. That would
I
make
can,
everything so much easier.
Like, I've never had. I wouldn't say I had it, but like there's times where I can, like, if I really just sit down and concentrate on a song, I could start to like, you know, imagine what it would look like.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's really cool.
That's cool.
No, yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
We were just like watching a documentary in class about Pharrell Williams.
Oh, I love that movie.
Piece by Piece.
Yeah, I've seen
okay,
it.
and he has that, and it's like, I'm so like envious of that. Like, I want what he has, but unfortunately, like, not everyone has it. So it's like you have to do everything by kind of ear and just based on what you're feeling or what experiences you have.
Yeah, it's really cool. But anyways, I have a real question. Did you ever want to like start a band as a kid when you were younger? Did you ever like not as younger, but like, you know, teenage years, did you ever start going like, I want to start a band? And if so, what were some like inspirations and names you had for it?
I always wanted to. Unfortunately, we didn't know like a lot of people who played music in high school. I knew of like 3 other people, like in the whole, like at Independence. That's all I knew, like that played music. And I mean, yeah, even when I was younger, we had a cassette player. My brothers, we would listen to this. There's the movie Mighty Morphin Power Rangers from like 1994 or something like that. We had a cassette of it, and we would always listen to it. And I was so into it that I would like tell my brother, like we were like kids, we were like 8, 7, 6, whatever. But I would like makeshift instruments at home, like a tube or some sticks like that, so we can play like Rock Band with the music as it's playing. And like that's all I ever wanted to do with them all the time. And I would always try to encourage, like tell my brothers, like, come on, learn this, we can play together, like we can do something, blah, blah, blah. But they weren't like into it. They didn't like it as much.
They didn't have your passion.
No, they liked soccer a lot.
Yeah.
They'll like die for that. But trying to start one is very, very difficult. Because if other people are not as into it as you are, it's not going to work. Like some people, it's, I mean, I would say for me it was too before, because I didn't realize how like special this was to me until I like took some time to slow down. But it's like, are you going to be a hobbyist or are you going to be an artist? And it's, if you're just going to be a hobbyist, it's not really going to work out, because it's more of just, I'm going to do this for fun to pass some time. But if you're trying to create art, it's something like you have to learn. It's a tool. You have to learn how to use it. And it's also another language. You have to learn how to speak it. And if you can't use the tool and can't speak the language, you can't express yourself, I guess.
Yeah. Also, one more question. What is that thing on the like the near top of it?
This?
No, that.
This?
Yeah.
Oh, this is a locking nut. So because this guitar has a Floyd Rose on it, this bar is called a Floyd Rose.
Oh, I
So
never knew that.
if you see, it like moves the strings around, if you can kind of tell. So if I pull it, it tightens the strings and it'll give you a higher pitch. But if you push it down, all the strings get super loose.
I thought those were whammy bars.
It's
Yeah.
It's a
what some
whammy
people
bar,
call
right?
it. Yeah.
Okay.
It's, I call it a Floyd Rose because this whole thing is called a Floyd. But
Gotcha.
most people call it a whammy. But because it pulls on the strings so much, it's so harsh that it has to have one of these to lock the string in place. Because if it's not, and you still pull it, this isn't strong enough to lock everything in place. So if you like Eddie Van Halen this thing and dive bomb it without these locking nuts, as soon as you play a chord, you're completely out of tune.
Oh.
So it just keeps the guitar from.
Oh, so that's
staying in
my
tune.
cousin always plays my guitar a lot, and he does that a lot where he'll really just do that.
Mhm.
So that's probably why.
Yours doesn't have this.
Yeah, I'm always.
Is yours one of these where it goes up and down or just down?
It goes up and down.
So there's your guitar has like a hole in the back of it. Like
Yeah.
that? Oh, you probably just need some. That's weird. Most Floyd Rose guitars come with this because of
I mean,
how.
mine was kind of passed down, so. I don't
It
really
might
know
be
if-
different, but there's some that just don't go up and down and they just go down. Those are called like tremolo bars, but those don't need locking things because you only go down. It only loosens it. You don't ever have to like tighten the string.
Yeah.
Hey, would you mind playing, since you're pretty much playing now? Would you mind playing a little for us
Yeah.
before we do the last couple of
I
questions?
can play something.
All right, we're gonna try this, listeners. So if this doesn't work, I'm gonna blame it on Geo.
Am I unplugged?
Why?
I'm just
I just
kidding.
wait, let
Why
me
me?
explain
So
it
Because we blame everything on
first.
you.
yeah. Go ahead,
Um,
because
Not
I'm
funny,
gonna.
Sandra.
Just by like
Hilarious.
you guys like experiences. So I used to just play like a lot of metal, and that's like this is all I want to do and blah blah blah. But the more I started like understanding myself, the way I started playing changed like completely, and I start playing stuff more like on the not sad side, but more it's like more softer and more romantic, I guess. So I still play metal. It's just now I have these new melodies that came from like I don't know, experiences of like love and stuff like that. So it'll have like these like bittersweet feelings and blah blah blah. You can plug in now.
All right, we'll plug it in. Hopefully everything works. We'll
Sorry
bring
if I
down the
messed up.
game.
I haven't
No, it's-
warmed up.
All right, give us what you got there. Very nice. Very nice. And plug you back in here.
Making Joe cry.
Yeah, that sounded a little Asian to me, like a little Asian vibe or Japanese vibe, maybe.
I like that last part where you went from B to C.
Am I on?
Yeah, you should be.
Did you know the
Can
chord,
you
Gio?
hear me?
Yeah,
Oh,
we
I'm
can.
in, I'm in.
Yeah, I had to turn it back up. The gain was way down.
Oh, yeah.
They ended on that last note. Like, I like that part.
Probably sure.
Yeah, like I'm happy that you said that because I'm always telling everyone about this. That I found this like new way to play because the metal stuff wasn't working for what I wanted to do for certain things. So I was also really getting bored of it. Like everything kind of just started sounding the same all the time. Like every metal guitars. It's like Kirk Hammett from Metallica. As soon as you know how to play one guitar solo, you can play every one of his guitar solos because they're all exactly the same in just a different arrangement.
They just follow like a pattern.
It's the same pattern all the time, just always changes. But I started experimenting with like Egyptian sounds and like Chinese and Japanese and stuff like that. So if you can hear all these like little like wailing like bends, like Gio was mentioning it, I would land before the note that I'm supposed to land on and kind of bend into it. So at first it sounds wrong, but it kind of more sounds like a cry or like a wail. So it gives it that extra touch of emotion. And then I added these like, I tried to mimic, I got really into Japanese music, like J-pop, like old like enka, like Japanese music from the 1960s and 50s and stuff like that. And I found out that the voices are so good. Like I don't know what they're saying, but the way their voice carries in a song is so like beautiful that I can't help but just like I'm sitting there just like this is amazing. I'll just repeat it over and over. So I started like just trying to incorporate the way like they sing in Japan into what I do now. It's like it's a guitar and you can play it like a guitar, or you can play it like if it's someone singing. And I don't know if you want to plug in so I can give an example of like a little part that adds like Japanese flavor to it.
He's describing that he's putting the Japanese people's souls into the guitar.
All right, play.
Or actually, no, wouldn't that be technically describing like a vocaloid? Right?
So, can you still hear me in the mic?
No, he can't, but you can yell.
All right, so I'm just kidding. Yeah, I don't know if you want to slide it.
Yeah,
over
if you slide that one over, you can get it.
So there's this part in what I just played where it's just the build up to that, but then I add this little, like if you hear Japanese music or like even like K-pop and stuff, they do it.
K-pop.
Their voice like peaks and jumps back down like rapidly, and I like to do this like that, but it's always. And that's like something I learned from just listening to like Japanese singing. And then it's just more of like. Things like that.
It's good.
You can have it back.
It's very sad, but I like it.
Rita looked memorized. Look over for a
You mean
second.
mesmerized?
Yeah, memorized.
Not memorized. You said it again.
Yeah.
Mesmerized.
Mesmerized.
Yeah.
I look over at Rita for a second. She's like full attention on the guitar.
All right, Gio, why don't you go ahead? Mine's gonna be long-winded. That's why.
All right, Mr. G. What's your advice to beginners who are trying to learn guitar?
You have to lock in. You have to and not treat it so much like I said, you can sit here and learn an instrument all you want and do all these practices and blah 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 blah, but if you're not putting your real life experiences into what you're doing, because remember, it is a language. It's just a whole, like, it's a universal language that not everyone speaks, but everyone listens to it. You have to play, and I was telling other kids this, and we're watching an interview and stuff like that, but I always told them before, you have to play with intent. You can't just sit around and just do a bunch of random things, because then that's what you're going to develop, and it's probably something you're not even noticing you're doing. But you have to have the intent, like what specifically, if you hit a note, what specific note do you want to happen next? You have to like create a story with what you're doing. And some people kind of just like noodle on, just like do a bunch of like anyone can. Like that's all fine and stuff, but
I can.
it's just like when you learn, it's just, I don't know. Think of it more as it's just another way to express yourself. Because some kids, students at the school, they want to do it because they see it and they're like, oh, that looks fun. But the moment they start doing it, they're discouraged. So there's a huge discouraging gap in there that you have to get past. But the more you experiment and use your experiences and emotions to throw in here, the more rewarding it's going to be. And it's just, I don't know, just like that with anything that's art related, you have to put yourself in it. And if you're not putting yourself in it, it's going to sound very like bland, and it's just going to sound like everything else. And you don't want that. Everyone's different. So nobody should sound the same no matter what. But you hear like professional musicians, you can't really tell the difference between like 5 different guitar players if you line them up in a row. But then you get people like George Lynch or like Marty Friedman, and you put their songs in the middle, like their solos in the middle of 500 other guitarists. You can single them out right away because they all have their own unique, oh, this is this person for sure. You can tell because you understand the language they speak already. You just gotta, I don't know, pull through.
I feel like that's kind of the same thing with a lot of artists today now. It's everything's kind of got summarized into like a kind of category where they say it's like indie, but they all kind of have their same like routine pattern thing. But like bands from like, I'm not going to like try to what's the word, specify certain genres, but like, you know, certain bands from the past have more like outstanding vocals or outstanding guitar solos, and to this day they still hold up.
I think that's the internet's fault.
Yeah, it's everyone's kind of went, oh, well, if you sing this way or speak that way, kind of, you know, vanishes.
People see like everything on the internet, and you're like, I want to do what they do, and you just do what they do without realizing you're not adding anything of yourself in there. So it's like, I like to, like, okay, nobody like get super crazy about it if you're listening, but like steal other melodies from other songs, but
as inspiration.
But I'm not sitting there playing a song that I learned and then claiming it's mine.
Right.
I kind of just take it.
Everybody does that.
And that's how the world works.
I know.
Everything's been done. You just have to rearrange it.
Right.
So there was I'll give you an example. I was listening to, I was telling some of the 8th graders this. I was listening to Selena, Dreaming of You. Do you know it? It starts off with that keyboard.
Yes.
A couple months back, I was just listening to it, and I was like, I forgot how great this song is. But later that day, I was playing guitar, and I was just coming up with melodies, and I came up with this little, like, more Japanese stuff. Like that little melody, and I was trying to figure out, like, well, how did I do that? And then I realized, like, oh, it's like very similar to the Selena song, but it's not like, if I did not mention it, you would have never assumed that's where it came from. But it's like I took the melody from the song, and it came out of me and not her, or like whoever, like the keyboardist was. So it's like the same vibe, just a completely different like outcome. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it kind of comes down to if you can hear like the vocals or something of someone and kind of see the inspiration, it kind of gets, you know, more connected.
Yeah, and the more you work on it, the more of you ends up in it. By the time you're done, it doesn't sound like anything like what it started, which is neat. I think everyone should do, like, that's how you make art. It's just everyone's inspired by someone else. You have to take it and make it your own. Yeah,
but that's kind of gotten to the point where everyone kind of sounds similar, and it kind of gets sad.
No, that comes down to the case of people not putting themselves in what they're doing. You're not even listening to me.
No,
Yes,
I'm like,
I
do you
hear
hear
that,
that?
but I'm
Yeah.
ignoring it.
What is
Sorry.
that?
I'm listening.
I'm trying to listen too. It's just I
Don't
hear
they
kids
teach you
screaming.
in class to ignore distractions?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's kind of hard when you hear kids and screaming.
It was like that. See, where the meditation works, where I can hear the noise and I go, "Whoa, what's happening?" Like over there, it's just like, "Oh no, that noise existed, but I'm still doing this right now."
Yeah.
So I want to end with a question because we're running late on time, but it's going to be long-winded, but I'm going to try to kind of wrap it up. But you always ask your kids what music means to you. Is that the question you ask when you start?
Yeah.
So I find it dumbfounding that they can't answer that because, I mean, for me, I think for most people, music's such an essential part of life. I mean, literally, music, and like you said, it can hit on every one of my emotions. I mean, it can make you happy when you're sad. It can make you sad when you're happy. I mean, literally, my wife and I were watching. I'm like, oh, Bread. I go, you remember Bread? I go, yeah, I really listened to that when, I had a really tough relationship and getting over it. And it actually helped me cry. I don't know. It sounds strange because it's not natural for me to cry, but I would listen to Bread, which is before your time, but our older listeners will know. Literally, when I listen to it, it can elicit that kind of emotion. And we were watching like something like a concert on YouTube of an old concert, and whatever, they're on their last song, and I'm like, the end of it, I'm like crying. I'm like wiping tears from my eye. I'm just like, music is just so ingrained in like memories. And it's just it's amazing that kids can't. I think they have, music has that impact, but they don't maybe know how to put it to words yet because it's such an emotional part of life.
Yeah.
I mean, for you, and I guess my question is, what does it mean to you?
I think it sounds like really weird. Like you hear like people say it like in like interviews and stuff like that, but like music, like, oh, music saved my life and blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to go like that far, but I think it helped in propelling me where I am now. But like I said, it's just this amazing thing. It's just physics. It's literally just physics, like gravity or like how air works or something. Colors, how you see colors. It's all just physics. It's all just vibrations and stuff like that. But what's cool about it is like, sure, like paintings and stuff, you can get an emotion off of painting, what colors they use, how they're blended and stuff like that. But like I said, I don't think it hits as hard as music does, it's just sound. I think it's a good way also to understand yourself. Like when I ask them the questions, like one question is like, why do you think people listen to music? Why do people love music so much? It's been around for like ever. And people super like a lot of students discount it like it's just another class. It's like, well, okay, but it's not math. Like this is, or like science. Like, sorry, you guys. Like, I know that's important too, but this has been around for like ever. Like since as the world began. Like sound already was there. Like it existed on Earth. Like nobody was composing anything, but it was there. You can come across things in real life that you hear that you can like, oh, this sounds like a beat. Like just cars driving by over like a sewer
The
thing.
rhythm of life.
Yeah, like it's just but it means so much to me now just because it keeps me out of my own head too, and I think that's like the best part of it for me right now. But like you were saying, it's I have more respect for it, and I like sometimes think about like, what if I lose a hand? And I'm just like, oh no, this would be like the worst thing
morbid
ever.
You play with your numb.
But it's like that. Like it's just this beautiful thing that can do anything. Like it can do many different reactions and things for different people. And the same song won't have the same reaction for everybody. Everyone's gonna have their own experience to the same thing, which is also really amazing. It's just like everyone's their own world, but this song can still touch everybody in a completely different way. I told you before, like when I was younger, Marty Friedman was like, I always wanted to meet him and stuff like that, just the way he played and stuff like that, when listening to like old Megadeth stuff like that. And if you guys don't know him, you should look him up because he has amazing music that's not metal half the time. But when I went to go see him, I took my friend, we went to go see him, but I got to go meet him and everything, and it was just like starstruck. I'm like, oh, this guy, like, maybe it's not even him. It's just the music he makes that is like a huge part of me. And I'm like, I have to meet the person who's making me feel this way. And you meet him, and it's this whole like just other experiences. Like, oh, he's just another person. But as I was a kid, he was like a rock god. But like seeing him come out of a bus, I'm like, he's just a guy. But when he started playing, a lot of people are like headbanging and stuff like that, and I'm sitting there like this, like right in the front row. He's
fanboying out.
He's like 2 feet away from me, and I'm just like, oh my god. And he played this one song. It's called "For a Friend," and he did this other one called "Tearful Confession." I played a little bit of it earlier, but it hit so hard that I was like looking around at everybody, and everyone's kind of just like swaying back and forth. They're like bobbing their heads and stuff like that. And I'm just like sitting there like, oh my God, I'm like crying.
Yeah.
Like I'm not even like moving around. I'm just looking at his hands and the way he like emotions everything. And I'm sitting there, and I turn around to my friend and I'm like, that was amazing. And she's like, are you crying? And I was like, yeah, like it was this beautiful like moment for me, especially. And there was this, I came across, there's this other band, and everyone knows I talk about them like The Warning. I had heard their music before, but over the summer last year, and I was like learning how to rebuild myself, I guess. And their music was so simple, but it still hit in this way. It's like pop, but it's like a rock band, but they take pop inspiration and add it into their music. So it's always a hit. But the stuff they say and the way they play and stuff like that, I feel like it also like slingshotted like everything that's happening right now to where I'm just like, I need to do this. Like, this is a gift that I have that I can give to other people and give them the same reactions that I had. And I don't know, I'm really grateful. And I get to like meet the lead singer for like a second time, which is amazing. And I'll have time to talk to them and stuff like that.
That's awesome. That's cool.
If a picture paints 1,000 words, then why can't I paint you? The words will never show the you I've come.
So quick follow-up. Speaking of rock stars, I've been listening to musicians in podcasts just because to get prepared for this with you, but Billy Corrigan of the Smashing Pumpkins. You familiar with Billy Corrigan?
Not him.
You're familiar with the band?
Songs, yeah.
Anyway, they've been around a while, made a lot of good music, but he's got his own podcast. But I heard him on, I don't know, probably Rogan or something. But he said something that really caught my attention. I had to actually play it back. I go, I'm going to ask Frank about this and see what he thinks. Frankie, sorry. And I quote, this is what he says. He says, the best explanation that resonated with him was the entire universe is constructed on waves, all type, light, sound, etc. So he said, music is the closest thing to the foundational aspects of the entire universe. I'm like, whoa. I had to play it back. I go, that was really deep.
Great. Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, it kind of makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to pick your brain and see what you think of that.
But yeah, no, I completely agree. Like I said, it's just like I said, it's all just vibration, like waves and stuff like that. But it's the only one that can like affect another living being like the way it does. And like that, because it's like, I've explained to the kids, I go playing in like C major, like everything you hear in life is this. Like the world revolves around C major. It's just, that's all the sounds in life like that you hear. Go sit next to a waterfall. Everything's in the key of C major.
Right.
Everything. But people had the ability to like, I don't know if you're playing like another major chord, like A major. It has this like bright, happy quality to it. And things that don't exist in nature are like, it's like a sadder vibe. And it's more people harness that by like, let me capture these sounds and label them. And it's like an amazing thing to do. It's just sound, and people organize it in a specific way that now it hits people in their feelings all the time.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Like you at the concert. You know?
Like me at the concert.
Right?
Yeah. And I've been to concerts before, and like I've had like amazing times with him, but that was the first time where I felt this whole wave of like, this is the most beautiful thing in the world right now.
You're experiencing it, not just listening.
Yeah, like you usually go to shows and like, yeah, headbanging stuff, something I've
Yeah.
heard before. But this, like, I've heard this before, but it hit me in a way where like seeing it in person, it was like, this is real. Like, it's not just coming out of my headphones. Like, I can feel the actual vibrations of what's happening, and not just through a speaker or like a speaker at my house. Like, this is coming straight from the source, where it hits different. So when I go to concerts, I try to like, I know people like rush to the front because they want to see the artist playing, but I rush to the front because I want to feel like the full vibration of what's happening. I just want to sit there and like let it. It's like
let the universe flow over you.
Yeah. It's like the source. It's like the source. It's like what I said, like going out and sitting in the grass. It's like the best thing in the world because you're connecting to like the thing that gives life, like the whole earth. I like to call it. It's like the source energy. You want to be as connected to the earth as you can, and I realize the more I'm connected to it, the happier I have been with everything, which is why like a lot of animals don't feel anxiety. Like maybe they do when they need to eat or something like that, but like, have you seen a dog? A dog can just chill there for hours in the grass, like with no complaints, like unless they get hungry or something. But it's like that, like animals just chill there. They're just involved in their environment. They can feel, they know like, oh, this is life. Like, and a lot of people think like, oh, life, you need like a purpose. I think everyone should have like a reason to give back to life, but with like, there's also no purpose. I think like the purpose of being alive is just to experience being alive.
Yeah, agreed. Well, actually this is a real good conversation. I think we can take away a lot from this. So hopefully our listeners will as well. We want to thank you for coming back. We'll probably have you back next year too if we keep doing this.
Yeah,
but really,
we'll be back too.
Yeah, we'll have a we'll have a better setup. But again, thanks again for coming in.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, guys. Without further ado, we'll see you guys next week. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Take us away, Rita.
Take us away, Rita.
Say something.
Yeah, give us
Bye.
best quote.
Bye. All right, we got bye.
Simple.
Bye, guys.
I fell into if a face could launch 1,000 ships, then where am I to go? There's no one home but you. You're all that's left me to. And when my love for life is running dry, you come and pour yourself on me. If a man could be two places at one time, I'd be with you tomorrow and today, beside you all the way. If the world should stop with all things spinning slowly down to die, I'd spend the end with you. And when the world was through, then one by one stars.